Few racing events inspire the human spirit as much as the Dakar Rally. What was once just a dream for motorcycle racer Thierry Sabine, the Dakar has grown from its humble beginnings to one of the most prestigious events in the world. Traveling thousands of miles through harsh terrain as fast as you can is difficult enough in a purpose-built rally vehicle. But how about on a scooter? With 4 Vespas, 5 Land Rovers, and no shortage of determination, this is the story of one of the greatest Dakar efforts in motorsport history. Despite 1980 being only the second running of the Dakar, the event was rapidly gaining traction thanks to its unique route and storied desert landscapes. Companies like BMW and Volkswagen began entering their own factory teams, and the event welcomed trucks for the first time that year. Also among those looking to field a team was a true madman, in the very best sense of the word. Enter Francois Piot, a successful rally driver in his own right, who went on to hold a PR role at Honda and later at Vespa. Being the competitive guy he was, Piot was always looking for ways to involve the brands in competition. After competing in the very first Dakar rally himself, Piot was inspired and hatched a harebrained scheme to get people excited about Vespa. 4 competitors running the entire Dakar on scooters. Given the physical demands of such a feat, Piot hired 4 riders who had already proven themselves capable. Yvon and Bernard Cherniavsky, Bernard Nemer, and Marc Simoneau joined the team, each with their own personal 2-wheeled accolades, ready to see what a Vespa P200e could really do. While he was a little crazy, Jean-Francois knew that to have any chance of success in his endeavor, the scooters would need to be slightly modified. The Vespas were prepared at the Piaggio factory and fitted with reinforced handlebars and forks, knobby off-road tires, upgraded shocks, and an additional fuel tank to extend mileage. With the full race distance of the 1980 rally spanning over 6,000 miles from Paris to Dakar, 5 Land Rovers were also called in to support the Vespas, one as a direct support to each rider, and an additional rover crammed full of spare parts. The Land Rovers were to be driven by Piot himself, along with a team of his friends from the rallying world. With the scooters and team assembled, it was time to take on the Dakar. The starting stage through France went off without a hitch, but it wasn't long before the harsh terrain of the African desert took its toll. The repeated vibrations combined with the uneven ground caused rubber isolators that mounted the scooter's engines to break loose, shifting the engines slightly forward. This put the rear tires in contact with the rear fenders and led to the team suffering many punctures. Piot ordered reinforced isolators from Piaggio, which arrived later in the rally, but the team had to put up with changing tires frequently. Good thing the Land Rovers were stocked full of them. The next issue for Team Vespa came in the form of a hard fall for Bernard Cherniavsky, which led to an injured shoulder. Not one to quit, he decided to keep going through the rally, albeit at a much slower pace. The Vespas putted along until they reached their greatest challenge yet, the infamous sand dunes. Bernard Cherniavsky was quoted in a French interview, saying that the riders fell almost every 1 to 2 kilometers. The team worked hard to push and lift the Vespas where they could, but it doesn't matter if you're the best rider in the world. You're not climbing a massive dune with a 198cc scooter. Cue the Land Rovers. With disqualification seeming imminent, the team loaded the scooters up, got through the treacherous parts, and unloaded the Vespas for the riders to retake control. Was it cheating? Probably, but cut them some slack. I don't think any of us would even attempt this to begin with. The scootering soldiers battled on through more flat tires, broken shocks, injuries, and pure exhaustion. But did they finish? Yvon Cherniavsky reportedly gave up near Timbuktu, and Bernard Nemer suffered an unfortunate mechanical failure when the frame of his scooter broke in half. Bernard Cherniavsky's engine reportedly seized on the last stage, but he made it to the finish line with his injured shoulder and the help of a Land Rover. The youngest rider, Marc Simoneau, miraculously finished atop his Vespa without any assistance. Bernard Cherniavsky and Marc Simoneau were scored 5th out of time and 3rd out of time respectively. For such an ill-suited choice of vehicle, I'm sure you're just as impressed as I am that 50% of the Vespa riders managed to finish. So if you own a Vespa and people make fun of it, just tell them that you own a Dakar-capable vehicle. If you enjoyed this really unusual story, go check out this video on 3 rare supercars from the 90s next. We'll talk about 3 cars that are lookalikes to other supercars, but are much more erratic, and how they came to be. Thanks for watching.